I was paralyzed from the waist down. I just remember screaming in terror, "Don't leave me here." I want to change the perception of disability.
Crisis creates transformation if you don't give up. Always. What got you to where you are, which I know you're proud of, will not get you where you want to go. Perhaps I don't need pain to drive me anymore. I'm just driven for something beautiful.
My name is Eileen Gruba. I'm originally from Anchorage, Alaska.
Alaska, ladies and gentlemen. Very much like Miami cold.
But I live in Los Angeles.
Okay, very different. You ever had LA, ladies? Anybody from out there from LA?
It feels really off sharing this, so I'm just going to share it.
Go for it.
Okay, so you said first memory that comes to you. My first memory was getting out of the car in Alaska from church in a little white dress with little flowers on it and seeing an opening because my mom was distracted with all the other kids. And I saw the muddy lake across the street and I saw my mom busy and I took off running and I dove in that muddy ass lake. And I was like,
how old were you?
I got away with it.
How old were you?
I was 4.
4.
Then you said, what was your next memory before that? And that was my very first nursery school where I was always the boss. Everybody had to ask me what they got to play that day. I was like the leader of my class. That memory came to me.
Interesting.
And then you said, what's your most painful?
You don't have to go back. Here's the one thing I invite all of you to consider. You don't have to go back when you remember it and be painful anymore. It doesn't have to be painful once you now know the true truth. But what happens is because you've been there so many times, many of you then will, even though you know the higher truth, will go back to that piece again. And then it becomes more wired, right? So erase. Change the tone of voice, change the imagery. You can still tell us it without having to go relive it.
Except I can't change it because it drives my purpose.
Well, no, you think it drives your purpose. Continue and tell me, and then we'll uncover the deeper truth.
So the painful memory was the day that I was paralyzed from the waist down.
Yes.
The day that I dropped and couldn't get up, and the time my mom finally realized this kid's in serious trouble and took me into the hospital, and she put me in the arms of a very large doctor, and I just remember screaming in terror, "Don't leave me here." And she was in terror, obviously. And when you said what was her perspective, what was mine, I felt it was terror. What was God's perspective? Go, kid, go. Which made me think of the lake. Go, kid, go. Which brings me to my purpose, which I've known for decades, but as I told you before, I've been stuck at that ceiling. I have been fighting for the inclusion of kids with disabilities in the entertainment industry for decades. And it's because of my hard head against a cement wall, fighting and rallying people and fighting, that you're seeing a lot more people with disabilities on the screen. And so my realization, because when I came here, I was really at a place of like, I don't know how to make this final thing happen. You know, I want to change the perception of disability so that children who fight for their lives and win do not step into a world where they are bullied, picked on, mistreated, kept out of fun and life and jobs, and everything is made harder for them for the rest of their lives.
And how come you didn't end up that way?
I had a lot of guardian angels.
And what belief carried you through that?
My belief, well, one, my mother, when I asked why did this happen to me, she used to say, because you were the only one of my 8 children that was strong enough to handle it.
Very nice. What a great mom you have.
I learned a lot on this week. I had breakthroughs every single day. including that was not the only trial. That was just the first one.
That's right. Because we all go on the hero's journey many times.
Yeah.
Right? And we get called each time. And each time we call, if we really go, many of us resist. But if we dive into what we're afraid of and move forward, we will meet new friends, new mentors, we'll develop new skills, we'll fight new battles, we'll slay our dragons, and we'll come back the hero of our life to be able to share something authentic because we've really lived it, not something we did in our head. And then once you get comfortable, if you don't create it yourself, life will show in and give you another call to adventure. And that is what life is. It's not like at the end of Date with Destiny, the adventures are over. And many of you don't call them adventures, you call them crises or problems. But how many have had a crisis that created a better you in your life? It seemed like an unbelievable crisis. In fact, crisis creates transformation if you don't give up. Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
If you don't give up.
Yes.
And if you give up, life will just give you more until you finally wake up or until you die miserable. You get to choose because we all have free choice. The most important thing is finding the empowering meanings. And the most important thing is to understand that sometimes passion comes from pain, but that as you develop more wisdom, and years don't guarantee that, consciousness, increasing your consciousness increases that. As you gain more wisdom, you'll begin to understand that I don't need pain to drive me anymore.
Yeah.
Now I can have a pull versus a push. When pain is driving you, it's still a push. And you can feel that in the tension in your body or that person's body.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with push. And many people go, look what all this push gave me. And you're so right. But it's just like the entrepreneur I talk to and say, that's beautiful. What got you to where you are, which I know you're proud of, will not get you where you want to go. Now it's time for pull. Now it's time for less effort. Now it's time for elegance. Now it's time for pleasure versus pain as the driving force. The pleasure of making something better versus the pain. Because what we can get locked into, Ellen, is after we've been as much pain as you went through in that situation, and we know others do, that we take that and we convert that into energy to push us.
Yes.
And you've done a beautiful job of that because most people would just let them stop them. But I would invite you to consider another possibility, which is maybe that isn't needed for your purpose anymore. And maybe if you don't have that same push, and I know you don't believe this right now, so I'm not asking you to believe this. I don't think you should believe this. In fact, I think you should resist this thought as much as you can. You should immediately say this is bullshit, and he doesn't understand, and it'll never work. And of course, you'll always be right. Because whatever you tell yourself over and over and over again, you'll know it's right. Whether it's accurate or not is a different question. But I'm wondering if you could consider the possibility, and you're the only one I'm speaking to right now, as you can see as I look in your eyes, that perhaps I don't need pain to drive me anymore. I'm just driven for something beautiful.
Yeah.
And perhaps if that was the drive, I would actually reach some of the people I'm pushing away because my intensity keeps them from hearing the message because they feel like they've done something wrong or you're making them wrong or the system is wrong that they're a part of. And then they just push back and it actually makes it harder. And you'll notice the ones you push through, of course, because that's what our ego does. Our need to be significant does.
Yeah.
But what if you could reach so much more with ease?
Yeah. That's on my board.
Beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. Where's on your board? How high up is it?
Yeah.
How beautiful is this? Look what you got right here. Wise with ease.
Yeah.
Were you in my head before we began speaking? This is beautiful. So now that you know that, bring that close and put it against your body. And rub your body with it. And then you'll start to associate real pleasure to what you do instead of I'm doing it because of all the pain these people are experiencing. Because also, some of those people are not experiencing the same pain you did, but you will project that in order to have that push.
Yeah.
And what I'd like, if there was any gift I could give everyone in this room, I consider now chosen family. You're such beautiful people. You've gone day and night. You've been so beautiful for each other. It's been in the middle of the night. You're some of you, it's the middle of the afternoon. You start in the middle of the night. And the love you share in everyone in this room has been overwhelmingly beautiful, has it not? Give it up for everybody. It's been so gorgeous. one that honestly took me a long time to get. I still have to remind myself at times, because if you're an achiever, you have this thing inside yourself where you push. Who can relate to the push?
Yeah.
Right? But sometimes transformation doesn't happen because you keep pushing, because anything you resists. Sometimes fighting reality that this is how it is guarantees pain. Reality doesn't mean you just have to accept it forever, but you have to accept this is how it is now, and then now what am I going to do with it? And the most important distinction is problems need energy to live. And some of you keep going back to that for energy you think to push forward because it's the only fuel you've had. And I'm just telling you what I did. I used my pain as the driving force. That's why freedom was the whole thing. I want to free everybody.
Yeah.
But, some people are already free.
Yes.
Or some people don't want to free. They want to be in love. Or some people want to be in love. They just want compassion. Or some people don't want compassion. They just want to be playful. Some people just want to have a good time. They don't want to be free. I was projecting all of my pain onto everyone, and I did a lot of great work with that, but also at an intensity where people were actually scared of me. No, some of you may still be, and maybe you should be. I don't know. We'll see. But because there was never a moment where that intensity, that pressure stopped. So it was overwhelming.
Yes.
And so you can reach more people when you have more gears. You can reach more of your own true self when you tap into more gears. That's one of the reasons I don't want you just using your warrior. Most of you in this room are good. Who's strong warrior inside there, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. And so it's like, but while my warrior got me to a certain level, my magician took me to a much higher level. My warrior's still there, can be used any time, but he's no longer overused and exhausted. And my lever has always been the source. And then gradually my sovereign started to guarantee a different level of balance because there was no fear in the sovereign. There was no, oh my God, I've got to do this. No, it's more like it's done. Now let me go through the steps. And it's so much easier to deal with someone when you're in a place of ease than when you're in a place of force. Now don't get me wrong, there's a place for all of these things. But when you use one all the time, it wears you out. And that's usually because we made a decision a long time ago about something, and we're still using that meaning and decision. And God's perspective of go, Eileen, go is beautiful. But maybe it's go, Eileen, go with grace. Not that you don't have it already, but grace meaning ease.
Yes.
And wow, inviting people in versus pushing. I think what you've done already is beyond commendable. It's beautiful.
Yes.
But you have so much more ahead of you. And so this component of grace, this component of ease, this idea of elegance, as we mature, it's the idea, how do I do more with less? But as an achiever, I have to do more and more and more and more all the time. Otherwise, I'm not doing my part. And I have to remind myself of that because I have that gear very, very strong inside me. But also, I notice that some of the most powerful magic happens in those moments of ease. And I really want to invite all of you, my brothers and sisters, because I consider us all brothers and sisters on this path, to really be kinder to yourself, because that'll make you kinder to others. You don't even know when you're not being kind. She's not been kind to herself while she's been on this mission. That's not to say you haven't been loving to yourself or acknowledge yourself. I'm not suggesting that. I'm talking about the kindness that allows ease to be in your body as a regular experience. Remember I said you'll know your true spiritual development when you can just be comfortable with who you are right now. That is not to say you don't want to create more, be more, do more, share more, but it's done from a place so that you know it's guided, you know you're on the path, and you know you're doing it. And by the way, I want to remind you that distinction of the path, I only gave it to you one day. I hope you come back to that. If there's anything that's not where you want it to be, your body, your emotions, your relationship, your impact, the people you're reaching, what you're doing, you got to come back to the path. And the first step to knowing if you're on the path is, do you have absolute clarity about what you really want now, not years ago? What you're capable of now, not years ago. And why? And sometimes the why now could shift from you from the pain that was driving you to the joy you see now in those that have new opportunities and choices.
I have a bigger why.
Pardon me?
I have a bigger why.
That's beautiful.
Can I share it?
The question, does it create ease in your body or does it create tension?
It creates ease.
Good, let's hear it.
Tension comes from the
remembering the past.
No,
What?
it doesn't. So these kids come through these challenges,
Yes.
and then they're not done, because later they get cancer because of the treatments, and later they get kept out of work because people don't like the way they move or their scars or their challenges. And so what ended up happening is you're constantly in survival mode.
Yes.
But the reason that I want to share this with people is because here's the reality. The strongest 20% of our population are being kept out of the game, which is a disservice to all human beings. Just like Arizona
Yes,
is not as cold as Alaska.
I agree. Take one step backwards. I want you even moving in a direction where it was. Now it's time to move where it is. So take a step back and take the vaccines out. And then take another step back and go, no, not all the kids need to be in the movie business. In fact, almost nobody's in the movie
I just
business.
want their stories told.
It doesn't matter. Take another step back and say, well, maybe all of them really aren't going to have this painful life you keep saying. Take another step back and